How often is this your view? How about this? The purpose of my speech today is encourage you to encourage children, especially under the ages of 14 to 16 years old, to not have smartphones and to limit their time on electronics and video games or any other kind of screen time. So I want to start out with a few facts. Number one in two children are on social media by the age of 12. The average smartphone for a child is 10 years old and declining. 6 in 10 kids don't get enough sleep at night. And a couple bigger facts is, according to ChildWise, kids ages 5 to 16 spend an average of 6.5 hours on a screen a day. 6.5 hours. And for teenage boys, those hours go up to almost 8 hours a day. That's an average of 90 days or 3 months in a year staring at a screen. Another fact is 5-year-olds have a thinner skull that contains more fluid than an adult brain does. And so the bone marrow of a child's head absorbs 10 times more radiation than adults do. An adult is probably over the age of 18, closer to the age of 25 is what studies consider to be a fully grown adult. And the last fact is tweens, so 12, 13, 14-ish, they spend less time outside than prisoners do. Prisoners. Our children of this age are spending less time outside than prisoners are. So, in summary, our children's brains just are not physically developed enough for the stress and anxiety that comes from being on these screens. Some of the issues that come from screen time are sleep issues. A lot of children develop mental and emotional and even physical health problems. Physical problems such as obesity, improperly curved spines and necks, and even eyesight. Kids younger and younger getting poorer and poorer eyesight, having to get glasses earlier on. And the last one that's an important one is screen time teaches them very poor relationship skills. So academic, learning, personal life, friends, family, it makes kids develop social anxiety and even addictive disorders. So I know many parents are probably wondering, my kid needs some kind of screen time for me to keep my sanity. So what can I do to even just limit that screen time? So a few suggestions are just set screen limitations. So you can be on it for 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Do not have electronics or TVs or cell phones or video games in bedrooms. Your bedroom needs to be a place to sleep and not have that thought of the video game or whatever else is going on that screen. And the last thing, which is fairly old school, is just have them find something to do. When kids are bored, it makes them connect pathways in their brain of things to do and how to create something and how to be creative, and they have to entertain themselves, and that's really, really healthy for a child's brain. So how much screen time is okay? How much screen time is, if your kid has to have screen time to keep your sanity, how much is okay? So according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, or the AAP, for children under the age of 18 months, they should have no screen time at all. They should not view screens, and they shouldn't have those lights from the screen affecting them. Because like we talked about earlier, their skulls absorb even more of the radiation. So kids ages 18 months to 2 years old can watch or use high quality programs, but adults need to be with them, watching them and helping them to understand what's going on, and so they don't get sucked into this world. Kids ages 2 to 5 year olds should have no more than 1 hour screen time a day. I even think that's a lot, but no more than 1 hour. And again, high quality, with parents around them explaining what's going on and how to process the things that they're seeing. Ages 6 years and older should have consistent limits on the time that they spend. I think this is where it goes to maybe an hour a day, which is still a lot, but at the most an hour a day. And then once they get to tweens, they want to be older and want to have their friends or whatever. That's okay, but I still think it should be no more than an hour, hour and a half. A lot of the studies didn't go into as much on how it affects them once they're into their tween ages, but I think for the social anxiety and relationship skills, we really need to limit it and use screen time monitoring apps. I downloaded a few of these apps. I don't know if you can see any of those, but it's really simple to download these parent control apps. So if you just go to an app store, and I just searched parent control app, and there is so many that have 23,000 reviews, 5 stars, 21,000 reviews, 5 stars, 10,000 reviews, 5 stars, and these will be so helpful. And then if you have an iPhone, one last thing I want to share is if you go to settings and go to screen time, it will show you how much screen time you use, and you can see the apps, how much time is being used in that app, and it's very helpful. And you can even get it to send you a report every day or once a week. I get mine once a week, and sometimes I'm like, wow. So please join me in taking action to save our children and the upcoming generations from these smartphones and screens and the damage that they can cause. And use these apps. They will be so helpful for you as parents, especially if you don't know where to start.